Yeah, definitely.
Do you get that thing? I get that thing because you meet a lot of people over the years, and then someone will come up and you say, "Oh, how you going?" And you got not a clue who they are.
Doesn't take long to make connections though.
Yeah.
So sometimes it might be just first name,
Yep.
and then like when you've been in a community, like for me,
Yep.
school and community are very close because
Yep.
90% of the kids at Belmac who play rugby probably play for Kaikorai. So you come across the same families and the cousins and the extended family. So it's not that bad actually.
Yeah.
Normally, every now and again you get caught with tell me your name again, after 25 years, there's been a few go through.
And that's 25 years is a long time to be part of the community, and you've been a big part of the community over there.
Well, that's what you sign up for,
Yeah.
and that's what makes schools and clubs good is when people commit, and just hang in there. And I started at Kaik. I started Balmacewen in about 1993, and I think I was at Kaik about 1990. I'm going to say 92 or maybe 91, maybe something like that.
Yeah, and then you went on and played rugby at Kaik.
Yes,
well,
I started playing
teacher.
rugby. I was a young principal. A young teacher, and then I think I was a principal in 93. So, just managing work and playing footy.
And you won a banner in 97?
97 won a banner, with Tony Gilbert and Steve Martin as coaches, and both I chatted to in the last couple of weeks. So, it's really cool.
Yeah, so that coaching, having good coaches around inspired you to do coaching as well after your rugby career?
It's it doesn't fall too far from being a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, good coaches are good teachers and vice versa probably. So, I remember a guy called Jeff Lindley who was a principal and a good mate of Tony Gilbert's actually.
Yep.
Way back in the day, coached varsity A with Tony, I think, and after him. So, just lots of other good people that have encouraged, and you see good role models, and you go, actually, I sort of enjoy that. So
so you'll find yourself in that space now as a role model for coaches coming up. So you've got some young coaches underneath you that are doing well, and you can see you're going to do well.
Oh, for sure. And there's been plenty over the years as well that have gone on to really great things. But right now Matt Doreen's part of our coaching group, and he's doing an awesome job. Signed up with the Spirit, which is really great. And then sort of just other young guys that come into the club that just the hope, the community that we have in our coaching group is that we get around a table together, everyone shares and helps each other out. So it's very, very collaborative and just a friendly place to be. So I love it. Love working with young coaches.
Yeah, because I was really cool because I got to talk to Matt in the weekend on Saturday and at the AU BRC game.
Yes, yep.
And so he's got Marty Herring on board.
Yes, yeah.
And who's the other young fella from down there?
Lee.
Lee Ellen. Yeah. And he's another one you would have coached somewhere along the line.
Yeah, Coach Lee. Yeah, in fact, I think he was in that 97 banner winning team. So, yes. Yeah, I'm going to say he was. Yeah. 97. 2016. 17.
So 17 was it?
Yeah,
16 something like
16,
16,
it was, sorry.
Yeah, it would have been 16.
Big pardon. No, he was about zero back then. Yeah.
Well, the first time I met Lee, I was still playing for Kai Bees, and he was a young 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And he was a talent then.
Yeah.
And I can remember him telling me to get off my ass at 16, and I'm in my 40s.
Yeah.
And he came to me and he says, Andrew, they want me to stay here and play rugby.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. If you want to be a professional rugby player, go to Dunedin.
Yeah.
I says, I did it. That's something that I did.
Yeah.
I didn't succeed, but you'll never regret it.
No, it's a fair comment. And I remember when Lee came, I think we had Tony Ensor, Jaden Spence, a bunch of young guys that all came out of school about the same time. Not all South Otago, some Dunstan boys, Andy Brunn, sort of some good country lads.
Yeah.
And they were just really good people as well as tough wee rugby players, and they played a season of Colts and did well and then just jumped straight in.
Yeah, because he's sort of followed my career. He's now a linesman.
Oh, is he?
Trainee linesman.
Oh,
and
good.
So so I get to see him a bit. We're working in the same industry.
Yeah.
So no, it's been pretty
He's
cool.
a top man.
He's a top man. Yeah. And so with your coaching this year, like I've watched your performances because I get to watch them.
Yeah.
You started off slow. You've got I've heard you've got a lot of new debutants in the side, in the Premier side, so it's like a young side, but it's a very well balanced side.
We are. We're extremely young. I think we've had 14 debutants this year. Well, in the first few games we had 14, so a lot of boys new to the grade, but a good nucleus of senior players as well in quite key positions. So that helps. Look, coaching young teams is fun because as a coach, you do more coaching.
Yep.
You take less for granted. You don't make assumptions based on what kids might have had at high school or Colts rugby. So it's pretty much, it's a little bit like a blank canvas, to be honest. You see where you're at and you manage accordingly. And we actually had a toughish start, but we had a 1 point loss to Tyree in our first game, which we outscored them in tries, could have gone either way. And that was a big indicator to me that, even as a young team, the boys had a wee bit of heart about them. And we talk about effort a lot and rewarding effort. So really pleased with that. We got a good punch in the face against Green Island and that was tough, but a learning experience. And then, really since then we've been really competitive. So that's the goal, is just to be competitive every time you run out.
Yeah, because, like win, lose or draw, your possession rate is 49%.
Yeah.
And that just tells me you're a very balanced side.
Yeah.
You tend to hold on to the ball. You're a balanced side. You hold on to the ball before you kick it.
Yep.
Whereas Southern will kick it pretty quickly.
Yes.
And use their big men to hold you down and make mistakes.
Correct. And that's very similar to the weekend. We're not the biggest team running around, but we can play quick. So you just got to play to your strengths. And every game's going to be different to manage, but again, Southern was a good learning experience for our players.
Yeah. And so you're up against another big side, Zingaree, this weekend. Who are not doing the best. So me being a pundit would say you have got an opportunity to take 5 points and finish the round strongly, where you'd be probably one of 3 or 4 teams that have lost lost 3 games and win 4 games.
Yeah.
So that's how tight it is. There's only 7 points between first and sixth.
Yeah, it's a great comp.
It's great, yeah.
A couple of teams are, edging sort of, nosing ahead, but the Green Island Tyree result was interesting and just shows that on your day, you got to be up there. So, we've just got to hang in there. And, Zingaree would have full respect for. They're a big, strong team. Haven't necessarily had the results, but doesn't mean anything else on the day. So, we're not that sort of team that would go on, patting ourselves on the back about anything. We just go on and prep well.
You can't, I know Southern have got AU this weekend, and it's bogey side for Southern.
Right.
And it has been for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's Bucky's first time back since he broke his leg. Against AU.
Yeah.
So it's they're just one of those sides they can turn up when you just don't expect it.
Take nothing for granted.
You can't. No, any game you play, you can't. I can sit here and go, I would have sworn blue and gold that Tyree would have beaten GI.
Yeah, and it was the other way.
But then when I figured out who was playing, I was like, it was.
When you look at the try scorers for Green Island, it's no surprise that the Highlanders should dominate. They should dominate club rugby if they're really at the top of their game. So, that was a game that probably most people thought Tyree would home advantage would win, but fair play.
Yeah, but Phil, he still had a smile on his face after the game.
Well, only for you. It wouldn't be much longer than that.
It's not much of a smile, but it's there.
A grimace.
Yeah, a bit of a grimace. Because I had a chat afterwards with him, and he was, I think you do, like you said, you need a kick in the butt every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tyree they've played well, but they've had some close margins, so they've closed out games well, but, any other day you don't win those.
No.
So fair play to them, but, so we wake up cool.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting all the way through because I think Tyree and Dunedin are going to battle for the Galloway Trophy.
Yeah.
So and they'll need to draw for Harbour to win it and Harbour to win.
Right.
So
okay. Yeah.
If they drew,
club footy.
And Harbour, if they win against University, then they could go through and win it.
Yeah.
So if there's a draw, and then I worked out before that if say Harbour lost, and there's a draw, you would have three teams on the same points.
Wow. Yeah.
So they'll all end up on, I think, 27 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh,
so
exciting.
It's just like, wow.
It's good. It's really
it
good.
shows you how close the competition is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, what's Kaik doing really well as a club?
I think across the board they recruit really well. Certainly in the younger grades, Colts grades are full to brimming, and in fact I think they had probably too many Colts at one stage early in the season, and that provided its own challenges. So I think the culture around the Colts grade and the club is really good. And that is that they have a good experience. They're really well coached and got a great coaching group this year with Monty Mitchell looking after the Premier Colts boys. So there's some expectation from young guys coming in that it's going to be good. We attract from, like every other Colts team, but we attract from all over the place. So you get this nice melting pot of cultures and experiences coming in. So I think we do that well. We have a active rugby committee that manages everything rugby related in the club, and some really good experienced people on that make a difference. But I think the thing that I like is that, and it's what you would hope everyone says about their club or their home or their workplace, and that is it should be a welcoming and friendly place for all players, no matter what grade or what level and interest.
I'm always amazed, like when I go to different clubs, like even as a player or a representative of a club, because I've represented a couple of clubs, and I've always been welcomed. And you make those friendships, even if you have a hard game. Some places, you just don't like playing because it's always a battle. But they always, even after that, you always made it feel like you're back home. Well, it sort of, it speaks to the values base of a club, I think, or teams and a club and community is that, it doesn't matter what happens on the field, that's gone. You've just got to be a good person and make connections with others. And I think that's across the board for all clubs because, there's so much going on in the world out there, and I'd love to see more young people playing rugby, get out there and come because it's being part of that community. And I think, some people need that. I knew when I didn't realise it at the time when I was a young man and I went to Southern, how influential that was to me, even though I didn't fulfil my dreams. Even when I came back to Southern, I walked through the door 15 years later, or 20 years later, brought my son in, and they were like, "Hey, Andrew." And I'm like, I thought no one would remember who I was, right? And that's and I find that with all clubs.
Well, I think you've just got to remember that people in clubs are volunteers, and they're doing it for love. They're turning up and committing massive hours for rugby, but for young people to to realise their dreams or to have fun or whatever it is. And I think as long as we keep that in mind, that we're amateurs, we're volunteers doing the best we can. That actually makes it more enjoyable.
It is,
and more fulfilling.
Because I've found it enjoyable being on the committee, But now I'm doing this. This is even more fun for me.
Yeah, good fun.
It's real good fun.
But
so for me, out of the sport, out of work, I go racing or play golf. What do you do outside your work and outside of rugby?
Outside of rugby.
Do you do anything?
Yeah, summertime play poor golf. I don't play a lot of golf in the winter time. It's too wet and cold. Pretty much just relax. So get up Central Otago a bit, up to Naseby. We've got a place up there, and just sort of just kick back, relax, and put a pair of jandals on, and don't do too much. So I think rugby for me is a nice difference to work. So I rugby for me is not a onerous thing. I like it because it's still community based, but it's not work, and I think that's massively important. And outside of rugby, you've still got to have something else to fill in the rest of the year. But you know, it's the old story: when you do something you really love, it doesn't seem like hard work. It's not. I don't see it as a real sort of tax on my time. I love being there, and I love putting on my wet weather gear on a dark, dirty night and getting out there, and because I'd only be sitting at home on the couch anyway, you know. So just good to do something. Stay active.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. And if anyone's listening, you know, get out there and volunteer at any clubs that you're out there. You want to join, just join as a volunteer. It's a great way to be a part of it. And I've had players come up to me and they've moaned about it, and I'm like, well, if you don't like it, what the hell are you doing? You know, it's like you've got to enjoy it. You've got to enjoy getting down in the dirty mud. And come up with that smile on your face and just enjoy it. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's about relationships and friendships that you make, and those are the things that you remember. You know, once you stop playing, and I know as a coach that they're still the most important things to me is, you know, just how people get on together, how they relate to each other, and how they just manage themselves as young people. And lucky to say that, you know, we get you know, really good experience out of that and good feedback.
So I think we're going to get around out over time. So thank you, Andy, for coming in and having a chat to me.
Yeah, pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. And so I'm AC, and I'll catch you on the sideline.
Cheers.
I think we're going to change the name too. So. He's at me about, we've got to change the name.
No, awesome, mate. Thank you.